Hi and welcome to Business with Joe. I'm Joe and thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be telling you my top 20 tips for starting your own business. I've broken it into 4 parts and you'll find the links to the other videos below in the description. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also hit the alert bell. Each week I'll be posting new videos, so don't miss out on the opportunities I'll be posting in the coming weeks. Before we start, let me tell you about the website or companies I'm suggesting in this video are from personal experience of actually using them or someone I know has recommended them to me. I will tell you if it's an affiliate link in the description below to any of the sites, but again, I'm only recommending these links because of personal use or a recommendation. So let's get going. Running your own business can be great fun, but I can guarantee it will be hard work. I've run my own business for over 20 years, so I hope I've learned a few things along the way that will help you. When starting and running your own business, we will all make mistakes, but hopefully if you follow some of these tips, you'll make a few less than I did. You might be wanting to start a business at home on your own, or with a partner and maybe some staff. There really is no difference apart from the size of the operation. Unless you have someone as a business partner who has already run a business, I would always start small. Don't spend any more than you have to start your business. I'm sure you've all seen pictures of Steve Jobs in his garage or Richard Branson carrying around records to sell. They started small and look where they are now. Okay, so not everyone will grow to the size of an Apple or Virgin, but there's a reason they started that way. It was so they could keep control of their spending and keep within budget. So before you splash out unnecessarily, think about the things you need for certain and the things that are on your wish list to start the business. Do you need an office? Could it be a laptop on your kitchen table? Employees are a huge expense when you start out, so could you do more or could you ask favours from family and friends? Being in business, I always say, is like wearing many hats. One day you'll have the boss's hat on, but the next day you might be wearing the marketing hat, and the next day the accountant's hat. Maybe you'll also need to wear the junior hat and make tea and coffee or even clean the place. My point is, at the beginning, you'll need to be adaptable and a hard worker. That is, unless you have deep pockets or really need staff from day one. Even if you're starting small, you'll need business insurance, even if you're working from home, as your household insurance will not cover you. Speaking to an independent insurance broker will be the best way forward, as household insurers don't always deal with business insurance. You'll need to set up a separate bank account for your business. At the beginning, it's very tempting when you have little or no money coming in to use your own personal account for your business, but you're only asking for trouble. It doesn't take an expensive business account. It could be an ordinary current account with the bank you are with now, but it's best to keep it separate. When you become more successful, you can change it to a business account and check out some of the benefits this type of account can offer. It's the little things that sometimes get to a new business, like tea and coffee maybe, cleaning products, and post is something many startup businesses forget to plan for. Not that such a problem nowadays with emails, but you still may need to send important documents or parcels. Again, always check for the cheapest provider. Look at all the things you might need to spend out on either on a regular basis or not so frequently and find the best prices for all of these. Keeping the cost low at the beginning will help with your cash flow, and cash flow is king. If you don't have money coming in, then you'll not be able to buy the material if you need things or even pay your suppliers. So don't assume that people will pay on time. They normally don't. It's hard when first starting out. You're just grateful for someone to actually be using your services. However, this is a time you should take advantage of. You need to be firm from day one. And I know you're offering them a service and they could go elsewhere. But if you're not, you will lose out. Trust me, I know. Some of the things you could do when invoicing clients is to be clear that you will charge a percentage over base rate for your invoices that aren't paid within a certain time. This needs to be outlined from the beginning and are worth putting into the small print of any quotes you send out. Quotes for work are vital as they show a record of what's been agreed. Nowadays a handshake is not enough, and it's even more important for larger jobs. You should also be sorting out a contract. If they are new clients, let's face it, at the beginning most will be, get them to pay some of the invoice up front. This will help you with your cash flow, especially if you have to pay out for stock, etc. One of the biggest problems a lot of new starters have is spending money before they receive it. Don't assume you'll receive payment from your clients straight away, and therefore don't spend it before you have it in the bank. Plan your business outgoings so that you are not creating debt and you are not dependent on clients paying on time. I really can't emphasize this enough. You will not be paid every time on the date of your invoice, 30 days or whatever the terms are. If you think money might be tight in the first few months as you get up and running, look at maybe having more than one income stream. Even if it means doing a part-time job, or why not look back at our series of videos and books, 80 plus ways to make money, where I give loads of ideas on how to make an income working from home, using some skills you already have, or maybe trying out some new ones. Having an extra income at the beginning will help with your startup costs, and you will have less worry about cash flow. As I said at the start, cash flow is king. So if you're having consistent problems with unpaid bills, then consider joining a federation of small businesses. Most countries have these, and you can use their legal assistance to chase your debtors. Another way to keep on top of your cash flow is to always have figures to hand. So you should look at having an online accounting service such as CASHFLOW or QuickBooks, which is one I personally use. These make invoicing easier to manage and can help you quickly view in the state of your company. The next thing you should look at is making a plan. There's an old saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Even if you're just setting up on your own, working from the kitchen table, you need to give yourself a clear idea of what it is you want to achieve. A business plan will help you do this. A business plan will range from around 20 to 50 pages in length, but regardless of how long it is, they should all contain the following information. A summary. This is a concise 2 to 3 page summary laying out the key points that are detailed in the following business plan. A summary. It should be enough for someone to look at and understand what you are trying to achieve with the business you are setting up. A business overview. A description of the business including structure. Even if you are a one-person company, what are you personally going to be doing? If you are going to take on staff, who's doing what? Your experience. Maybe not vital at the beginning if you're going it alone, but if you ever need to go to the bank or want to get financial backer, then having your experience and why you can do what you say you can do is very important. It might even highlight where your skills are lacking for you to either get outside help or brush up on those skills. What's the business? Again, if you're going it alone, actually writing down what it is you're offering is a great idea. You may have gone over and over what it is you're offering, but sometimes just writing it down will bring up all sorts of issues you might not have thought of. It's also something you can show to someone you know and trust to get their opinion on. Location. Okay, not important if you're running your startup from the kitchen table or home office, although thinking ahead, you might want to look at where and at what point do you move into an office. It could be when you take on staff. Who wants to see their boss walking around in their dressing gown? Or it could be when you reach a certain turnover. Or, if you need premises from the very start, look at the location. Does it work for you and your business? Are you near a road network or an airport if you need to get anywhere? Could you grow the business here or would you need to move again? Have you got a good price on the rent? Is it fixed for the first few years? These are all the things that can be noted as part of the location section. The next is how are you going to actually be doing the business? Internet? A storefront? Mail order? Have you worked out how you are going to deliver what you are offering? Even if it's working from home, how are you delivering? Are you drop shipping? Taking the products yourself? Are you posting? On operations plan, this is an explanation describing how the business will run, including the physical setup and responsibilities. It goes into more detail than the structure section. It's about the day-to-day running of the business. How are you getting the work, supply chains and cost? Market analysis. This is an overview of the market as a whole and defines your target market and your plans for creating that market. Products and services. What are you going to be selling? Describe the product. If they are going to be manufactured, what happens if this fails? Or is the service you offering your skills, such as the trainer, coach or physio, etc.? Clarify the products or services and provide a brief description of each. Sales and marketing. This is where you'll need to know how much the product or service you are selling will cost. Outline the pricing and sales information, including rationalization for why your potential customers will buy your products or services and how you will reach them through marketing and advertising. Work out budgets for this, and even if you grow your business through word of mouth, you'll need to start somewhere. Later on, I go into how networking can help a business. But again, if you go down this route, what are the costs? Competitive analysis. No matter what idea you have thought of, and even if you think it's the best thing since sliced bread, there will always be another company either doing the same thing or something similar. Analyze the strengths and weaknesses of your direct and indirect competitors. Show how you will be better than this competition. Management team. If you are having staff, provide concise background information on all key members of staff or co-directors involved in the business. Financial plan. Include all financial information from startup costs to balance sheets. This section should outline the amount necessary to start or maintain a business, the amount needed over the next 2, 3 or even 5 years, plans to use funds, if any, anticipated need for additional funding, if any again, ongoing business expenses, including salaries, insurance, promotional expenses, etc. Forward projection. This is the hard part, but it does provide you with a section where you'd like to see yourself in 2, 3 or 5 years' time. There's a lot of guesswork needed, but an estimation of the potential growth and expenditure should show you what you need to do to get where you want to be. At the end of the business plan, attach a supporting document such as letters of intent from customers and suppliers, any articles on key staff and what they have achieved, and of course certificates and any qualifications you might have. A plan is necessary if you're going for money, either from a bank or a lender. If you've never done one before, you should seek professional advice. And if you are setting up just on your own with no financial input from anyone, it's still worth going through this process as it will highlight areas you may not have thought of. If you use Excel, then starting a spreadsheet for the first 12 months expenditure for the business and estimating the revenue that you realistically generate from any work you will do can give you an idea of how much outgoings you will have and what income you will need. Be realistic and even underestimate your income. If you can make it through the tough times, then anything more is a bonus. I know it's hard to guess, but just the action of thinking through will provide you with earnings goals and points to consider as you run your business. Network. I'm a huge fan of networking and have done it for years. It's a great way of generating business. And if you work on your own, it's also a fantastic way of having a support network that you can meet up with on a regular basis. I know it's tempting to do everything over the internet and never meet anyone, but I found that the networking group I joined not only helped me find more business, as it was like having a 30-strong sales team out there without having to pay them, but they were also there to guide me through any problems I might have. Don't get me wrong, joining an online networking group and forums are great. You can start giving useful advice on areas directly relevant to your business. This raises your profile in a positive way. But don't spend all the time on these sites. Allocate a certain number of hours each week and stick to that. It's very easy to waste time chatting to people and soon the day is over. Get some business cards printed. Go out to networking events in your area and make sure you take your business cards and any other literature you might have whenever you go. You never know who you're going to meet. However, networking is a two-way street, where you create support by being useful to people who then go elsewhere and talk about you in a positive light. Don't thrust your business cards at people. Ask them for theirs and don't give yours until you're asked for it. Once you've met someone, send them an email within 48 hours, providing something useful or the place where you can find more useful things like your website. They now have the contact details and a positive association with you. I know there is a lot of networking groups out there and some are more suited to your style and personality. But for me, if you're serious about creating business for yourself, then try BNI. I've been a member for many years and I've made thousands of pounds from being part of the group and also made some lifelong friends and some great contacts. Networking, however, has costs and should be put into your business plan and cash flow. It also has time costs. BNI, for example, most groups meet at 6:30 in the morning. I know, it's early. But in the room are, in my case, 50 like-minded business owners, all wanting to help each other. We are usually away from the meeting by 9 a.m. and getting on with our normal jobs. However, you'll also need to find time to meet up with the members over a coffee so you can chat to them on a one-to-one basis about their business and for you to tell them about yours. In a group of 50, that's a lot of coffee. I would estimate that any good networking group will cost around £2,000 or $2,500 a year. A lot of money, but believe me, you'll get this back many times over if you do it correctly. Avoid borrowing if possible. There are lots of ways to borrow money, but that doesn't mean you should. Think, do you need the latest bit of kit right now from the beginning, or a flash new car to drive to meetings in? Try to grow your business organically. Use your own savings or earnings from another business or income stream to fund it. Barter services rather than paying for them. Offer up your skills in one area in exchange for something else in another. When I first got going many years ago and social media started to take off, I wanted to know all I could about it, but couldn't afford to pay for a course. So I bartered my skills for a day with a social media guru and learnt loads. It got me started on how to use social media properly. If you want to go big time straight away and feel you need funding to do it, then put together a professional business plan and discuss it with suppliers, customers, prospective customers and other known potential investors before you go to venture capitalists and angel investors or borrowing money from the bank. Remember, they will want something in return. Could you cope with putting your house on the line if it all went wrong? This is what some banks might want if you go for a loan with them. Or what about giving away half your companies for an investor? Think long and hard about borrowing. Seek advice, and if you have a partner, they need to know the pitfalls if you go down this route. It's their house as well. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to look out for the next one in this series. Please remember to subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes out. Good luck with earning money, guys, and remember, you can have results or excuses, but you can't have both.